Hello once again everyone, and welcome to a discussion video on Ready Player One. I read this book in like a day. It was that good. I couldn't put it down really. It was like I started it Wednesday? It's like, because I finished Lord of the Rings and I'm like, alright, it came free in the last Loot Crate, so I'll give it a go, which looks pretty cool. Start reading it, I'm like, okay, it's actually pretty interesting. And then yesterday I just spent the rest of the day reading it, like pretty much all that day reading it, and finished it. So, the premise of the book is, you have this character called Wade. He's about a 17-18-year-old kid who sort of is growing up in a world where, like, in the near future, because it's set in 2044/45, sort of thing. So in this future, humanity has wasted all its fossil fuels and stuff. So, well, most of the fossil fuels are there going to shit. There's wars, famine, all this bad stuff, and basically there's like little transport now because there's not hardly any fuel. It's all done by sort of electric cars and stuff, which take charging with solar panels and whatever else. In this character Wade, he's got this short straw, as many other people in this time have, basically, where because the resources running short and all these people move towards the cities so they could have good internet connection, it'd be where they think jobs are, but there's mass scale unemployment and all this sort of stuff. And so he lives in what is commonly referred to as the stacks. These are stacks of mobile homes type places, stacked up 15-20 high. And so yeah, he lives in there. He lost his father early on to a car accident, I think it says. No, not a car accident. He was shot, yeah. And then he lost his mum to a drug overdose, and so he's like living with his auntie, but really he spends most of his time in, basically, he found the secret lair in a junk pile of cars, which he sort of converted to where he lives most of the time. He sort of goes back to his auntie's place if it's particularly cold at night and he needs somewhere warm to sleep, because he doesn't want to freeze to death. So there's basically, in this world, in the near future, a guy called Halliday, who's a video games designer, designed the Oasis. The Oasis is basically a virtual reality, sort of, you've got visors and gloves and all that sort of stuff, and people go into the Oasis and can travel to countless different worlds. There's just literally, it's loads of them, and there's loads of different sectors with hundreds of different worlds, all of which you can go to. And since its release about 20 years before this book was set, people have been going to the Oasis to sort of escape, and eventually, at the time of this book, it's basically what's taken over reality, kind of. So most people stay long periods of times in this Oasis world because obviously the world's gone to shit, and they don't want to stay there. They work and live in the Oasis, and it's like a lot of employment comes through the Oasis. And Wade himself, who was going to public school, got transferred to an Oasis public school. So he goes to school in the simulation, and it's like a lot better in their simulation, because obviously usually school sucks, but because it's a video game, they can do stuff that school can't do. So if they're studying history, they can take the class to the actual place, like the pyramids of Egypt or wherever they're particularly studying, through the simulation kind of stuff, rather than just telling students about it. And obviously, again, there's laws and rules in place inside this classroom that have been programmed in to stop the kids misbehaving, so they can't move out the seats and all this sort of stuff, which makes the teachers have a lot easier job of teaching the kids. So there's all that, and then there's the next layer to this where Halliday, the creator of this game, dies. He doesn't have a living heir, and so instead of giving all his money to various different places or whatever, his whole entire fortune and stake in the company that runs the Oasis and all that sort of stuff, he gives up as a prize to this contest which he creates within this virtual reality. The contest is to find an Easter egg that he's placed there, but it's not a very easy Easter egg to find, because to find this Easter egg you have to get 3 keys and you have to go through 3 different gates, and each gate has a challenge associated with it, and each key has a challenge which you must complete to be able to unlock or get said key that I think. And so since the announcement of his death and this message, he does this video message telling the world about this, and so a society of Easter egg hunters called Gunters forms, and that was 5 years ago before this book was set. And so for the last 5 years people have been going over this simple sort of clue that Halliday released to sort of allow people to find the first key, and that there's sort of like when you get thrown into the stories. There's this kid Wade, he's currently studying school, but he's also going to trying to find the keys and the Easter egg, because this is the way he sees there's a way out from his current predicament of being poor and stuff, and it's pretty much it. And the book basically tells of how he is not necessarily like it's like he's not the first person to find the keys, the first keys resting place, the copper key, but he's the first person to get said copper key. He levels up because he's he's a level 3 character, and he gets the key, he becomes a level 10 character, and then he becomes famous because he's found the key, and then he figures out from the key, because the key gives him a clue where the first gate is, and then he goes and completes the first gate, so he's the first person to do that. And then the other person who found the key's place before him, called Artemis, what's that, Artemis in it? Yeah, it's like Artemis, but with the middle E being a 3, the BC speak, because the first one was taken with the actual E, and she's like a girl, and so she finds that Key's Russian Blues book is unable to beat the challenge associated with it. But Wade manages to do it first time because it's a game of joust, basically, and he figures how to do it because he's skilled at video games, because he's played quite a few of them via the Oasis simulation and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And so he becomes famous because obviously he's the first person to do it, and then obviously Artemis then does it, and then Ake, who's like Wade's best friend, does it, and then to her guys Daniel and Shoto, well, these Japanese kids do it, and they become the top 5 people, and then there's this corporation who wants to take control of the Oasis. They figure out and find it and lock off the entrance to the key place, and they go through and do it. But the other Gunters, who don't like these people called the Sixers. They nickname the Sixers because they've got 6-digit names, well, avatar names sort of thing. Well, they're all begin with sixes, don't they? Something like that. Yeah, they all, it's like 1016, something. They all begin with that. So that's why they're called sixes. Because they want to take control of the Oasis and make more money out of it and charge monthly fees and stuff. Because the Oasis is completely free to use. You have to pay a small charge to get the equipment and stuff and create an account, but that's it. And so obviously they sort of blockade this, and the other Gunters who, some were solos like Wade, and some were formed clans over the years, sort of showing this like, they know this place, and it's like they try and they basically can't protect it forever, so they get rid of the show that they've put up there, kind of deal, and that allows other people to go through and get the copy key in the first gate. And it takes a longer period of time. Well, it's not like 5 years, but it takes several months for Wade to find the resting place of the second key. And during the first few months after his getting the first key, he starts up a relationship with Artemis, this girl who he sort of had a crush on for a couple of years because she's a famous blogger kind of deal. And so he's like him actually getting to meet this person, and they start hacking out and talking and all that kind of stuff, and then she sort of ends the relationship because it wasn't. I mean, they went for a few days, but it wasn't quite boyfriend and girlfriend. It was also an online relationship, so it's kind of complicated, and so he becomes sort of depressed and sort of doesn't focus so much on figuring out the next clue to find the silver key. And so yes, as builds the planes, so he gets himself a job and does all these endorsement deals and goes on quests and boosts his character up to level 99, which is the highest level you can get as a character, sort of thing. But Artemis doesn't sort of rest on her laurels and finds the silver key eventually after like several months, and this sort of like triggers him to think, alright, it's in this particular sector. What's in this sector that I can sort of latch onto using these clues? And goes, alright, there's this museum which has the trophies that Halliday's won for his game design work. Let's go check out that place. And so he goes out and checks out that place, and he finds out, oh, there's fuck all here, right? I've come to the wrong place. So he goes back a different route, and this museum which holds these video games and all this sort of stuff, and he finds this pizzeria which Halliday programmed into. It's like another secret Easter egg, and it's not the Easter egg, but it's just another secret Easter egg. And there's a Pac-Man game in there, and you see that Halliday's got the top score on it, and it's 10 points away from the perfect game of Pac-Man, sort of thing. And so he's like, that's interesting. So he then goes and does the perfect game of Pac-Man, and he earns himself like a quarter, not the actual Easter egg, but it's just still like, it's pretty cool. And then he does some more thinking, and then he's like, oh yeah, he figures out the clue and goes and gets the key, and then finds the second gate and does that, and then he finds the third key, and he knows where the third key's gate is, but the Sixers did this a few days before him, and so sort of like he goes and finds where the location is, and he's sort of like they've blockaded the place, so he's unable to enter it, and so he has to come up with a plan to get rid of the force field barrier that the Sixers have erected, which nothing can penetrate, kind of deal. And so he does that, and he comes up with a plan, and he enacts out the plan, and he tells the other top gunters, Artemis, Ag, and Shanto, because the other guy dies, and he's killed by the Sixers in real life, not only just in game but in real life as well. So it's like, that's a bit fucked up. So he tells them, oh yeah, this is where you'll find a second key, a second gate kind of deal, and this is where you find the third key, go do that. And he acts out his plan, figures out what the Sixers are planning and stuff, and so he gets all the Gunters and everyone else in the Usos to sort of team up and go against the Sixers in an epic battle around the location of the third gate. And he's also figured out how to get through the gate. It takes not one key but three, so they sort of break through the line of Sixers and get to where the gate is, places their keys into there, unlocks the door and goes through the gate. But right when they go through the gate, the Sixers use their last sort of punch and set off the catalyst, which is this epic weapon, because it's obviously a typical video game. You've got loot drops for doing quests and stuff, and so this is like a very unique item which basically kills every single player within the sector, including the user of the weapon. And so obviously they kill everyone in the sector so they can still get to the gate, go through the gate first, and so get the egg first. But because we did that Pac-Man thing, the little quarter he gets is like an extra life object and item, and so he manages to stay alive within the gate, and so he goes through the gate, and he has that challenge of beating a Tempest, the video game sort of thing, which he manages to do after a couple of goes at it. Like he has to beat a high score and that, and then he has to live through another movie sort of experience, which was like the first gate, which was you have to perfectly replicate a movie. The second gate was doing a video game, and this third gate is got a video game and a movie, and then you get to Halliday's office and you have to unlock the consoles and then do a game of adventure, and then you unlock the egg first before the others get to it. So these Sixers who've managed to come through the gate get to it, and it's pretty cool. And so obviously he wins the fortune and he splits it with his friends, and it's sort of like he gets to be with Artemis and gets to get on sort of, it's the whole plot basically for this book. But there's a lot of other stuff in there. There's just so many references to video game culture and 80s pop culture, because Halliday was obsessed with the 80s because that's when he grew up. So yeah, I just really enjoyed reading it. It's an amazing book, and I've just sort of spoiled like the majority of it, the plot, but it's got a couple of years old. It's like came out in 2011, so it's like 4 years old at this point. but you know, I was just really impressed with the world the writer Ernest Clive not Clive created. It's a really awesome book. I highly recommend you read it if you like video games and pop culture and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna end it here, guys. I'll see you guys some other time for another video. Peace out, Girl Scouts.